Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. My name is Anaïs Resseguier, and I work for Trilateral Research, which is Deputy Coordinator of the SIENNA project. And I will present to you a brief overview of the work done by SIENNA in the field of artificial intelligence and robotics, and to point to some key findings of this research. So as Philippe was saying, this is just a brief snapshot of our work, and we will develop this further tomorrow in the afternoon session dedicated to AI and robotics. So to start with, some definitions to make sure that we are on the same track with regards to the subject of what we are discussing. So these are the definitions of AI and robotics that SIENNA has been working with. So these definitions I know are debated, but these are the ones that we settled on, and you can find out more about this in our report. So we define artificial intelligence as the science and engineering of machines with capabilities that are considered intelligence by the standard of human intelligence, and robotics as a science and engineering field dedicated to the study, to the design, development, and use of electromechanical machines with sensors and actuators that can move in their environment and perform intended tasks autonomously or semi-autonomously. And what we've noticed is that increasingly both fields are merging, with robotic being included in AI, and in SIENNA, that's also what we tend to do also in particular for the our last part of our work. So as you know, I'm sure the sectors of application of AI and robotics are quite numerous. AI and robotics can be found in healthcare, security, transportation, and many other sectors. These technologies being so widespread, we thought that it's essential to conduct a wide range of analysis on these technologies and their impact. So that's what we did, and Philippe presented some of the analysis that we conducted, the state-of-the-art review, analysis of the legal and human rights requirements, coverage of this technology in research ethics committee and ethical codes. We also put a major effort in an analysis of current and future ethical issues of AI and robotics. And we did two major empirical studies, both a quantitative and a qualitative studies on societal acceptance and awareness of these technologies. So these are these studies that Philippe mentioned, so I won't go into details on this, but I just wanted to point to two results that I thought might be interesting to give you a sense of the type of results that we obtained through this research. So one of the questions in the survey was asking, the question was, before today, how much, if anything, had you heard or read about AI? And here, as you can see, the all-country average was that 50% of the interviewee answered that they felt they knew a fair amount or a lot on AI. So that's an interesting finding, and it's also interesting to see the significant discrepancy between countries. For instance, South Korea and Germany showing a much greater level of awareness of AI as opposed to countries like Poland and Spain. So that's one of the results. Another one that I found interesting is the answer to the question, how positive or negative do you feel towards the impact of intelligent machines? Here as well, we can notice quite significant discrepancy between countries. Interesting to see that very different response in the Netherlands and in France, for instance. 61% felt positive towards the impact of intelligent machines in the Netherlands, while only 31% in France. So this is just a quick snapshot of the empirical studies that we did, and you can look at the report on these studies for more details. I will also mention briefly the ethical analysis work that we did. So here as well, we aim to be as comprehensive as possible to explore the ethical issues of AI and robotics. And to do so, we broke down the analysis between three different levels. Firstly, the technology level, which is the most general one, which looks at the general aims, techniques, general implication and risk of these technologies. Then we look at the level of the product, so ethical issues raised by specific products of AI and robotics, such as computer vision or social robots. And thirdly, we look at the level of application. So, for instance, ethical issues raised by AI when used in the security sector or in transportation. So these are the three levels that we looked at, and this led to a very important and big, long report on ethical issues raised by AI and robotics that you can look at. It's available online, freely available. And here's just a snapshot of the identified ethical issues that are, of course, more further developed in the report. So, for instance, for the use of AI in law enforcement, there are issues of bias and discrimination, privacy, transparency and accountability, and so on. In healthcare, potential issues with privacy and confidentiality, informed consent, discrimination, and so on. So lastly, this is the last thing that I wanted to highlight to you now from the work that we've done on AI and robotics. These are our proposals for ethical AI and robotic. So the last part of our work where we made our own proposal to respond to some of the challenges that we identified. And to do that, we developed a multi-stakeholder strategy for ethical AI and robotics, and a series of practical tools to promote ethical AI and robotics. And these tools include the multi-stakeholder strategy that Philip will present in more details tomorrow afternoon. We have the framework for ethics by design and ethics of use in AI and robotics that my colleague Brent will present. Also a proposal for industry education and buy-in for AI ethics, research ethics guidelines for AI and robotics that Philip will present in more details tomorrow. A proposal for AI ethics education, training and awareness raising. And finally, proposal for ethics as attention to context that I will present tomorrow. We also have a set of regulatory and policy recommendations that my colleague Verena will present tomorrow. So yes, there is a lot more to discover about SIENNA work on AI and robotics. So I hope you can join us tomorrow, 1:30 to 5:30 CET.